So one of the books I've been listening to recently is Choose Your Enemies Wisely by Patrick Bet-David. I haven't read many Patrick Bet-David books, but recently I've fallen into him and he is absolutely amazing. And the concept of choose your enemies wisely is, I've like prided myself for a while now that I don't have any competition, right? Like, we've built Flag to be a brand that I don't see anyone else in the marketplace doing. You know, we're like this athletic streetwear outdoor brand. And when I try to think of other brands that we compete with, it's like, well, I guess the overalls compete with Carhartt, but they don't, because they're so stretchy and athletic, and our gym apparel competes with, you know, so I haven't really had any competition per se, right? One of the cool things about Patrick's book is he breaks down like why you need healthy competition. You know, I grew up on the East Coast, and if you're from the East Coast, you know, you grow up with like this chip on your shoulder. And when I started business, when I was a young kid, there was a guy that completely screwed me over, right? Like, he took absolute advantage of me. Kind of crazy, right? It was a product that Dane and I helped develop, and the guy was just ultimate scumbag, which I think shows in how his life has turned out. But regardless, for like the first 5 years, there was this chip on my shoulder to like show him what the fucking deal was, right? So like the more successful we became, in the back of my head I was like, this motherfucker's gonna see it and he's gonna know who the fuck I am, he's gonna remember my name. And then there's also, you know, proving it to myself, proving it to Dana, proving it to Dana's parents, proving it to my parents, proving it to all my friends that said I couldn't do it. And I had all these really healthy like catalysts or enemies in my life that pushed me, right? Then got successful, then made some money, then moved to Montana. Now we've been in Montana for like 8 years or whatever. And like, everything's good, man. It's like, people believe in me now. If I say I'm gonna do something, they believe in me. So it's not as easy to keep that chip on your shoulder, right? And I think that like realizing that you need to have, like, I left what I felt was like childish rivalries behind, right? I thought that chip on my shoulder was a childish, unhealthy thing. After reviewing that book, it's like, nah, man, like, just because I outgrew all of those enemies doesn't mean I need to pick new ones, right? Like, and my life is, and always will be, I perform the best when I'm in a fight. So I need to be fighting against something. And a lot of times, the things I'm fighting against are like little things, right? But I think choosing your enemy wisely and whatever that may be, right? So whether it's a larger company, whether it's the economy, whether it's the government, whether it's manufacturing, I need to get a little more focused and choose my fight. And choose that enemy and what I'm looking to break down. I think that'll work into our mission statement really well. I think that'll work into our vision statement really well. But shout out to Patrick. Huge fan of his books. I'm actually on the second time through, which is very rare for me. I never read a book twice, but I'm reading a book twice, so I guess something about it I like.
From the general perspective of this, that's exactly what this is trying to avoid, right? It's trying to increase the lower income areas. It's trying to limit competition of being able to rent, and there's increased section.
So just work until you feel like you've got enough out of it, and then we'll move on.
On the quest to lose some weight. Also, like, refresh my athleticism, wake up some of my stabilizers, all that, but constantly fighting with my back, always being out. One of the new developments, the new hypothesis that I have is I think pump products hurt me. And that's something I didn't realize before, but the big issue with my back and the discs and all the pain down my leg is I do things that inflame my lower back, my spine. It presses on my spinal cord and then gives me a lot of pain, and then my body adjusts, and then muscles freeze up to protect me. I think just that little, maybe it might be some of the pump products, or mixture of everything, but that's what we're trying to figure out right now is like, what are the little things that are getting me? How do we keep me moving? And then, when we have me good, how do we make me better? How do we protect me when I'm hurt? So I'm on week 3 of being hurt. Bodybuilder workouts all day long where I'm just getting a pump and very static movements, but static movements aren't gonna keep me alive.
Why do you think it's important to have, for someone like you who knows everything about fitness pretty much, and your wife is the queen of bodybuilding?
Yes.
Why do you have a trainer?
Yeah, why do I have a trainer? Why do I have a trainer when my wife is one of the best trainers in the world? Well, I think one of the things about Dana and I is there needs to be some kind of separation in our relationship. Like, we're obviously together all day, we work together all day, we're business partners, so we do everything together. I think after 20 years, it is healthy to have a little bit of separation. That being said, we still train together. But these are motions that I can't sort of bring myself to do, right? They're very hard for me. It's hard to stay creative. And then it's also hard for me to continue to do them. So I think in just like everything else in life that's hard, or you want to learn, or I don't know how to do things, you hire someone who does. So Dan's the man with stretching and mobility and athleticism and things like that. So I hire a coach.